a famous mathematician, a brilliant innovator, and a successful investor. All of them succeed in life in ways that most of us can only dream to. What do they have that we don't? Are they born differently or have unique inner talent, maybe superior genes? Or maybe they just had the luck to have a good environment and a caring family. Some think it's a special condition or life experience that most of us just didn't have. Or maybe it's a strong desire to conquer and achieve everything they want to. But for certain, luck is a huge factor in how successful you will become. It just doesn't matter how successful one could be if he doesn't have the right surrounding or born at the right time in history. He just will never achieve his full potential. The big and interesting question is, what's the most important aspect for success? Is it a good and strong gene or the environment that we are born to? In this video, let's ignore the disabilities that humans could born with, and we will talk about the average person. For start, we know that using our head to solve specific set of problems will make us better at solving this kind of problems, so we can conclude that our brain is trainable. Our brain is not a muscle, but we can make it better with practice. With techniques like EEG, fMRI, and PET scans, we can see and measure the electric brain activity. We know which part of the brain was active in any specific time, so we can connect it to the activity that the subject was doing at the moment. It helps us to map and connect the different locations of the brain to different tasks. We know that when someone is good at something, the electricity in his brain moves differently than the average person, and it can change via time and practice. We also know that the parts in the brain that are used for various functions can change. For example, a person who can't see might use a part of his brain that was used to image processing for different tasks. Apparently, anyone who could train his brain to use it efficiently at a specific topic could become a genius. But on the other hand, we can easily accept on average that a tall person will be better at basketball than a short one. Because we know that in sport, from birth, our organs decide how good we might be at a given task. So why it's so uncomfortable, even for me, to acknowledge that there might be a possibility that we were born with different set of speciality that was decided by the organ called brain? Nasazio Polgar will disagree with this statement. His thesis was that geniuses are made, not born. He made an educational experiment on his own children in an attempt to prove that children could make exceptional achievements if trained in a specialist subject from a very early age. All of his children turned out to be an excellent chess players. The worst of them was the sixth best chess female player in the entire world, and his youngest daughter is considered the strongest female chess player of all times, who managed to enter the top 10 chess best player regardless of gender. She turned out to be a grandmaster at the age of 15, breaking the previous record that was held by the world champion Bobby Fischer. In the other end, a big research by Kevin Beaver that was conducted in the University of Florida tried in 10 years to determine which factors could influence the intellectual development of children. The experiment was conducted only on orphans, which at young age was adopted by successful families. They wanted to check what have a bigger influence on the child, the environment or the genes. The result of this current research was quite astonishing, because the researchers came to the conclusion that the education and the behavior that the parents provide to their kids have no influence over their cognition development. Recently, a followed-up paper was published that announced that the initial gene that we are born with define our cognition abilities and success by 60% in our adult life. They noted that it might be explained by the fact that most of us like to choose careers that have a big correlation with the things that we are initially good at. Another interesting research that was conducted on NFL retirees showed that by eating properly and going to a normal BMI range, sleeping well, and exercise, they manage to improve by a huge factor their memory, reaction time, reasoning, process speed, and attention. So, our intellectual ability might be influenced a lot by our lifestyle and obesity level. In her PhD work in psychology, Somakova Natalia wrote that in the past, researchers tend to believe that out of all the population, only 1 to 3% were gifted. But at recent years, this number changed to be somewhere between 15 to 30%. And her studies show that by changing the environment of the children, we can open the real potential and turn more children into gifted ones. Toyota company made an interesting model that made their employee more productive and innovative by changing their environment and social structure. They make the workplace cleaner, more decorated, and safer. They let the people know how valuable they are to the company and try to make the workers' work easier and less repetitive. The product and the work that the employee managed to perform for the company improved. The innovative and out-of-the-box solutions that the employees managed to perform for the company exceed prior expectations. In contrast to that, in history of mankind, there are a lot of stories about twins who got separated in their youth and grow up in different families. One of them is of an Ohio citizen which got married, then divorced, and married again, and had one son and one dog. Eventually, he found his twin brother which had exactly the same life story. In addition, they both like math and woodwork and hated language professions. They both work as lifeguard and had serious headache at the same time prior to their fateful meeting. The internet is actually filled with funny stories like that, which maybe led us to believe that the things we are enjoying are part of our initial genes and not all at the hands of our parents and life experience. But one paper that I managed to find that checks the preference of number of twins showed that even if there are a lot of similarities, most of them have some difference in their preference and life goals. So what do you think? Our life is fated from the start by luck, or is it depends more on our life experience and family structure? You can leave a comment below to let me know what do you think. If you enjoy my content, leave a like and subscribe to my channel so we could meet again in the future.